Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the 3D printed C3PO build. I haven't made a huge amount of progress because I have been setting up a new 3D printer and there's lots of testing and so forth that goes along with that. But one of the things I have made so far is a C3PO hand. A tiny little hand. Look at that. A little baby hand. Actually made a set of little baby C3PO hands. Just to test the files to see how they print and also test the printer. I did this one with a 20% infill and this one is completely hollow. Or maybe I have that backwards. It's backwards. 20% infill, completely hollow, just like that. So any of you that are not real familiar with 3D printing, if you have an object that is basically solid, like this has a closed off bottom, I could print this as a solid object. But with the 3D printing software, you can control the density of the infill. So it'll make the perimeters, which is what you see, you can control the thickness and make it as thick as you need to be. But then anything within those perimeters, it makes a pattern inside that you can control how heavy duty that pattern is. And like this one, smooth, has nothing inside. So it's just printed the outside. Now basically I want to see kind of what the detail of the models is as it prints and how much I need to do. So these are the unaltered models. Let me put I hate white filament because you can't see the detail, so I'll put a thing here to block it. At this scale, these files unaltered print really nice. But full scale, they were going to be a little bit soft, so as you saw maybe in my previous video, I started to do some ZBrush to the files and sharpen some things up. So I did an actual full-size hand, as you can see here. And there's a couple little issues you might be able to tell right away. Again, let me block the light so we can get a little better view of this. So you can see a big line randomly, like right through the middle here. This is, I think, an issue with the software. And then here, I had a filament clog partway through. This took about 15 or 16 hours to print. It's totally hollow, 1.5 millimeters thick. So you could technically cut this apart and make it into a wearable costume piece if you wanted to. There are some little issues with my printer that I need to take care of, but I'm probably going to print a left hand tonight just so I'll have a pair. Now, this is after some cleanup. So these little guys here, no cleanup, look freaking great. And then the big one here has some cleanup. Actually looks pretty good. And I have a resin version. This is probably what this was scanned from, is a resin version like this. And I can compare and see where my details are sharp enough and where they need improvement. And overall, I did a pretty good job on this. There's a couple areas I need to go touch up, like the backs of these need a little bit more sharpening. What I did on the finger nubs is actually really good. For the most part, I did a pretty decent job on my first go over. The little squares on the palm need to be sharpened up a little bit. And some basic stuff, but overall it's pretty good. And there's a couple things on here that I am trying to fix, like some stuff that I think when these castings were made, they're made from a flexible urethane part, and I think that they just got a little squished in some areas, and then it translates down to all the castings. So I'm going to make some adjustments here. You can see like how narrow this finger is. It's also narrow on the real casting. That is something that I'm going to try to fix. Now, one good thing is that this printed ever so slightly, like maybe 1% larger than the casting, which is a good thing because the castings have shrink. Every time you make a resin copy of something and then copy that, it shrinks a little bit. So this is ever so slightly smaller, but negligible. I measured them with calipers, and they're within like, you know, a fraction of a millimeter difference between the parts. And I actually think this is probably closer to the screen use size. I've been lucky enough to handle quite a few of the screen use hands, and this one looks to be closer to the size of the real one than this one. Like, this is related to a real one, but because it's been copied, it has shrunk a little bit. So that's a good thing. But yeah, so this is just an update. See some hands here. Little hand, big hand. Do those smell like cabbage? No. I knew you were going to smell it. So, up next, I would like to start some leg pieces after I print the other hand. I'm going to make some adjustments to the printer. I don't know if you can see this here, but there's some strange kind of like ring pattern, and I think that my Z-axis was a little off kilter. So I'll try to straighten that out, and I'm going to print a left hand, and we'll see how it goes. I'll probably be back once I start making the next set of parts. Hopefully we'll be starting with legs next after I finish the hand. So just an update. Figure you guys want to see where I am at. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. I'll be back soon. I will be doing a review and a build video on this printer really soon, probably within the next week. These are part of the tests that are going to be in that review. So thanks for stopping by, and I will see you guys soon. Later!